Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. The theory of evolution. Does it undermine the existence of God? What is it? Is it true? Let's go through some of the problems with the theory of evolution. Now, in secondary school, primary school, colleges, we're taught that the theory of evolution is true, it's a fact, it's 100% true. We're not told that it's a mere scientific theory, but it's actually a fact. However, if we just look at it in a more of a academic sphere and not just these key stage 2, key stage 3 science textbooks, we'll see that there are actually a lot of problems with the theory of evolution. And at the end, I'll put a really good point that completely destroys this argument that the theory of evolution is 100% true. But now let's just start by looking at what some of the evolutionary biologists themselves say about the theory of evolution. So, if you look at a philosopher of biology called Elliot Sober, he wrote a book called Evidence and Evolution, which is published by the Cambridge University. And he says in this book that Darwinian evolution is based on a probabilistic framework and it has multiple assumptions. So right off the bat we can see that there are scientists who are saying that the evolution is not true, it's not 100% true, and that there is a load of probabilistic framework around it and there's so many assumptions involved. Likewise, if you look at another scientist called Peter Godfrey Smith, another philosopher of biology, and in his book Philosophy of Biology, which was published by Princeton University, he says that scientists are moving away from the tree of life, which we were told was a fact in the theory. When we were taught the theory of evolution, we're taught that the tree of life is actually a fact. But Peter Godfrey Smith, in his book Philosophy of Biology, he says that scientists are moving away from this idea of a tree of life to a web of life. So right off the bat, what we're seeing here is that the core concepts of the theory of evolution, they're actually disputable and they are not 100% true. And these are just two of many scientists, philosophers of biology, evolutionary biologists who agree on three things. Number one, that the theory of evolution, it's based around a highly probabilistic framework. Number two, that there are multiple assumptions involved in the theory of evolution. And number three, that the core concepts are disputable, such as the tree of life. So we see here that the theory of evolution is not 100% true and that it is highly probabilistic. And therefore, how can we really take this as evidence to undermine the existence of God? Now, number two, and this is really something that the evolutionary biologists, people who believe in the theory of evolution, really scratching their head about, and it's something that you can't refute. And this is something that Darwin himself says. Now, if you pick up a book like The Greatest Show on Earth and many other books on the theory of evolution, we'll see that they say yes, the theory of evolution is 100% true, you have to believe in it, this, that, there's nothing wrong with it, no probabilistic framework around it, no assumptions, it's a done deal, 100% the truth. But if we pick up a book by the founder, the person who came up with this theory, Darwin, his book, it's called Origin of Species. Now, in his book, at the beginning of his book, what does he say? He says that there is a lot of evidence that is missing in his book and in his research. And his research, he says that his own research can be used to come up with theories that go completely against what he has come up with. Now, this is in his book Origin of Species, you can find it. Charles Darwin himself is saying that the theory of evolution is not 100% true and that there isn't enough evidence to back it. And the evidence that's there, that he has collated, you can put forward points that go completely against the theory of evolution. and they are credible points he's saying. Now, if we read on in his book, in chapter 6 of Origin of Species, we find that Darwin has dedicated an entire chapter of his book to go through problems with his own theory. Now, I mean, look at him. He's put forward a theory and is dedicated an entire chapter to go through the problems of his theory and why, it is just a theory. And this isn't how we are taught evolution today. We're taught it's 100% true, and this part is true, this part is true, this part is true, X, Y, and Z. But the person who made this theory, he himself argues that there are problems and it's not 100% true. He argues that some are solvable and some are more difficult to solve. But nonetheless, he says that this is my theory, these are its problems, but I still believe it's true. Here's why. And lastly, I just want to add one more point, and I really want to hammer this point home, and it's about something that Darwin says in his book. He talks about gradualism. Now, what is gradualism? In a nutshell, gradualism is basically the idea that evolution happens gradually and it's not like a sudden thing. Now he argues that gradualism, if it can be refuted and if it isn't true, then his whole theory breaks down and his theory is not true at all. Now, what are evolutionary biologists now saying? That gradualism has largely failed. They are saying that gradualism has largely failed. So if gradualism is failing, is a theory of evolution failing. I'm just gonna leave you guys with one last point that I heard from a Muslim scholar, but I can't remember his name. I've looked really hard and I can't find the article anymore. But he says, and he talks about something, he says that the Jews and the Muslims, they have been getting circumcised for centuries. And now if the Jews and the Muslims are getting circumcised for centuries, why is it that not a single Jew or a Muslim has been born in that way? Is evolution, why is it not working now, or what's wrong? And he argues this point, that if the Jews and Muslims have been getting circumcised for such a long time, why are none born that way, already circumcised? And I'll just leave you guys with those points, that in summary, the theory of evolution is highly probabilistic. There are multiple assumptions and the core points are disputed, and this is agreed upon by many evolutionary biologists and philosophers of biology. And Darwin himself argues that there are problems with this theory and it can be refuted. وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.